Everybody, this is Sanjay. Today I am going to teach you the second chapter of Standard 9. Today our topic is the sound of music. So let's start. First of all, I am going to tell you something that please subscribe my channel so that I can upload the more videos, and one thing more important, that any suggestions regarding my videos, any topic, any subjects, you can give me so that I can improve my channel. Thank you very much. Let's start. The sound of music. Before you read, God may have taken her hearing, but He has given her back something extraordinary. What we hear, she feels for more deeply than any of us. That is why she expresses music so beautifully. So let's read. Rush hour crowds jostle for position on the underground train platform. Jostle means push roughly. A slight girl, slightly smaller thin, looking younger than her 17 years, was nervous yet excited. She was nervous yet excited as she felt the vibrations of the approaching train. It was her first day at the prestigious Royal Academy of Music in London, and daunting means frightening enough for any teenager fresh from a Scottish farm. But these aspiring musicians faced a bigger challenge than most. She was profoundly deaf. She was very deaf. Evelyn Glennie's loss of hearing had been gradual. Her mother remembers noticing something was wrong when the 8-year-old Evelyn was waiting to play the piano. They called her name and she did not move. I suddenly realized she had not heard, says Isabel Glennie. For quite a while, Evelyn managed to conceal her growing deafness from friends and teachers, but by the time she was 11, her marks had deteriorated and her headmistress urged her parents to take her to a specialist. It was then discovered that her hearing was severely impaired as a result of gradual nerve damage. Impaired means weakened. They were advised that she would be fitted with hearing aids and sent to a school for the deaf. Everything suddenly looked black, says Evelyn. But Evelyn was not going to give up. She was determined to lead a normal life and pursue her interest in music. One day she noticed a girl playing a xylophone. Xylophone means a musical instrument with a row of wooden bars of different lengths, and decided that she wanted to play it too. Most of the teachers discouraged her, but percussionist, it means a person who plays the drum and or tabla etc. Ron Purvis spotted her potential. He began by turning two large drums to different notes. Don't listen through your ears, he would say. Try to sense it some other way, says Evelyn. Suddenly I realized I could drum from the waist up and lower one from the waist down. Forbes repeated the exercise, and soon Evelyn discovered that she could sense certain notes in different parts of our body. I had learned to open my mind and body to sounds and vibrations. The rest was sheer determination and hard work. Potential means quality or ability that can be developed. Potential. She never looked back from that point onwards. She toured the United Kingdom with a huge orchestra, and by the time she was 16, she had decided to make music her life. She auditioned means gave a short performance so the director could decide whether she was good enough. She auditioned for the Royal Academy of Music and scored one of the highest marks in the history of the academy. She gradually moved from orchestral work to solo performances. At the end of her 3-year course, she had captured most of the top awards. And for all this, Evelyn won't accept any hint of heroic achievement. If you work hard and know where you are going, you will get there. And she got right to the top, world most sought after multi percussionist with a mastery of some 1,000 instruments and hectic international schedule. It is intriguing to watch Evelyn function so effortlessly without hearing. Intriguing means fascinating and curious. In our 2-hour discussion, she never missed a word. Men with bushy beards give me trouble. She laughed. It is not just watching the lips, she speaks flawlessly with a Scottish lilt. Lilt means a way of speaking. My speech is clear because I could hear till I was 11, she says, but that does not explain how she managed to learn French and master basic Japanese. As for music, she explains, it pours in through every part of my body. It tingles in the skin, my cheekbones, and even in my hair. When she plays the xylophone, she can sense of the stick into her fingertips. Tingles means causes a slight pricking or stinging sensation. By learning as the drums, she can feel the resonance. Resonance means echoes of sounds. Resonance flowing into her body. On a wooden platform, she removes her shoes so that the vibrations pass through her bare feet and up her legs. Not surprisingly, Evelyn delights her audiences. In 1991, she was presented with the Royal Philharmonic Society's prestigious Soloist of Year award, says master percussionist James Blades. God may have taken her hearing, but he has given her black something extraordinary. What we wear, she feels far more deeply than any of us. That is why she expresses music so beautifully. So, she expresses music very beautifully. Evelyn confesses that she is something of a workaholic. Workaholic means a person who finds it difficult to stop working. Workaholic, workmania. I have just got to work, often harder than classical musicians, but the rewards are enormous. Apart from the regular concerts, Evelyn also gives free concerts in prisons and hospitals. She also gives high priority to classes for young musicians. Anne Richlin of Beethoven Fund for Deaf Children says she is signing inspiration for deaf children. She is signing inspiration, sparkling inspiration. They see that there is nowhere that they cannot go. Priority means great importance. Evelyn Glennie has already accomplished more than most people twice her age. She has brought percussion to the front of her orchestra and demonstrated that it can be very moving. She has given inspiration to those who are handicapped, people who look to her and say, if she can do it, I can, and not the least, she has given enormous pleasure to millions. Now, second part, the Shehnai of Bismillah Khan. Do you know these people? What instrument do they play? Do you know? Emperor Aurangzeb musical instrument called pungi in the royal residence, for it had a shrill, unpleasant sound. Pungi became generic name. Generic name is a name given to a class or group as a whole. Generic name for reeded. Reeded means wind instrument which have reeds like the flute and clarinet, etc. noisemakers. Few had thought that it would one day be revived. A barber of a family of professional musicians who had access to the royal palace decided to improve the tonal quality of the pungi. He chose a pipe with a natural hollow stem that was longer and broader than the pungi, and made 7 holes on the body of the pipe. When he played on it, closing and opening some of these holes, soft and melodious sounds were produced. He played the instrument before royalty and everyone was impressed. The instrument, so different from pungi, had to be given a new name. As the story goes, since it was first played in the Shah's chambers and was played by a nai, nai means barbar, the instrument was named Sehnai. This instrument name was Sehnai, pungi and Sehnai. How it was discovered? The sound of Sehnai began to be considered auspicious, promising to bring good fortune, and for this reason it is still played in temples and is an indispensable component of any North India wedding. Yes, we get to see in weddings there is Sehnai playing. In the past, the Sehnai was part of Naubat or traditional ensemble of 9 instruments found at royal courts. Till recently, it was used only in temples and weddings. The credit for bringing this instrument onto the classical stage goes to Ustad Bismillah Khan. As a 5-year-old, Bismillah Khan played Gilli Danda near a pond in ancient east state of Damrao in Bihar. He would regularly go to the nearby Biharji temple to sing Bhojpuri Chaita, at the end of which he would earn a big laddu weighing 1.25 kg, a prize given by local Maharaja. This happened 80 years ago, and a little boy has travelled far to earn highest civilian award in India, the Bharat Ratna. Born on 21 March 1916, Bismillah belongs to a well-known family of musicians from Bihar. His grandfather Rasul Bakhsh Khan was Sehnai Nawaz of Bhojpur King's court. His father Paigambar Bakhsh and other paternal ancestors were also great Sehnai players. Paternal ancestor means ancestor of the father. The young boy took when his mother took him to his maternal uncle's house in Banaras, now Varanasi. Bismillah was fascinated watching his uncles practice the Sehnai. Soon Bismillah started accompanying his uncle Ali Bakhsh to the Vishnu temple of Banaras, where Bakhsh was employed to play the Sehnai. Ali Bakhsh would play the Sehnai and Bismillah would sit captivated, means hypnotized, for hours on end. Slowly he started getting lessons in playing the instrument and would sit practicing throughout the day. For years to come, the temple of the Balaji and Mangala Maya and banks of Ganga became the young apprentice favorite's haunts, where he could practice in solitude. That means lonely place. The flowing waters of Ganga inspired him to improvise and invent ragas that were earlier considered to be beyond the range of the Sehnai. At the age of 14, Bismillah accompanied his uncle to Allahabad music conference. At the end of his recital, Ustad Faiz Khan patted the young boy's back, patted, and said, "Work hard and you shall make it." With the opening of the All India Radio in Lucknow in 1938 came Bismillah's big break. He soon became an often heard Sehnai player on radio. When India gained independence on 15 August 1947, Bismillah Khan became the first Indian to greet the nation with his Sehnai. He poured his heart out into Rag Kafi from Redford to an audience which included Mahatma Gandhi and Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, who later gave his famous Rise to His Destiny speech. Bismillah Khan has given many memorable performances both in India and abroad. He His first trip abroad was to Afghanistan. His first trip to abroad was Afghanistan, where King Jahir Shah was so taken by the maestro that he gifted his priceless Persian carpets and other souvenirs. Souvenirs, things given in memory of a place, person or event. The king of Afghanistan was not the only one to be fascinated with Bismillah music. Film director Bijay Bhatt was so impressed after hearing Bismillah's play at a festival that he named a film after an instrument called Gunj Uthi Sehnai. The film was a hit, and one of the Bismillah Khan composition, Dil Ka Khilona Hai Toot Gaya, turned out to be a nationwide chartbuster. Chartbuster means record breaker, blockbuster. Despite this huge success in celluloid world, Bismillah Khan's venture in film music were limited to two. Celluloid means old-fashioned way of referring to films. Bijay Bhatt's Gunj Uthi Sehnai and Bikram Srinivas Kannada venture. Venture means projects that often involve risk. Sanadhi Apana, I just can't come to terms with the artificially and glamour of the film world, he says with emphasis. Awards and recognition came thick and fast. Bismillah Khan became first Indian to be invited to perform at the prestigious Lincoln Center Hall in United States of America. He also took part in the World Exposition in Montreal, in the Cannes Art Festival, and in the Osaka Trade Fair. So well known did he become internationally that an auditorium in Tehran was named after him, Tehar Masjid Ustad Bismillah. National awards like the Padma Shri, Padma Bhushan and Padma Vibhushan were conferred on him. Conferred means given, usually an award or a degree. In 2001, Ustad Bismillah Khan was awarded India's high civilian award, the Bharat Ratna. In 2001, he was given. While the coveted award resting on his chest and his eyes glinting with rare happiness, he said, coveted means much desired or greed. All I would like to say is, teach your children music. This is Hindustan's richest tradition. Even the West is now coming to learn our music. In spite of having traveled all over the world, Khan Sahib, as he is fondly called, is exceedingly fond of Banaras and Damrao, and they remain for him and most wonderful towns of the world. A student of his once wanted him to head a Sehnai school in USA, and student promised to recreate the atmosphere of Banaras by replicating the temples here. But Khan Sahib asked him if he would be able to transport river Ganga as well. Later he is remembered to have said, that is why whenever I am in a foreign country, I keep yearning to see Hindustan, while in Mumbai I think of only Banaras and Holy Ganga, and while in Banaras I miss unique Matha of Damrao. Ustad Bismillah Khan's life is a perfect example of the rich cultural heritage of India, one that effortlessly accepts that a devout means believing strongly in a religion and obeying its laws and following its practices. Muslim like him can very naturally play the Sehnai every morning at the Kashi Vishwanath temple. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe my channel for more videos, and I welcome all the suggestions which will be provided by my dear students. Thank you.